it says here that this is going to include the live letter highlights. So I didn't get to see the live letter. I've watched some highlights already. Like I watched Mioni's video. I watched Zeppela's video. So I know that they talked about the new PvP mode, which is going to be 5v5. And it's basically the that game mode that we had in stuff like Team Fortress and Overwatch. I forget the name, whatever they call them that, but the payload. It's the payload mode, basically. You're pushing around a crystal. And I was like, that PvP stuff looks like it might be cool. We'll have to check it out. So, yeah, I'm curious to see what Bellular has to say about it.
It's live letter time. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. More than just the delay, there's game details, but also we've got the latest.
Oh yeah, another thing, the game was delayed. I can't believe I forgot to mention that. Sorry, my brain is still recovering from the ridiculous amounts of time that I've been playing Elden Ring this weekend. But you guys were asking me how do I feel about the delay, and it's like, listen. When it comes to developers that have my full trust. And I know that in the past, like I probably would have said, I trust Blizzard on a lot of things. Nowadays, not so much. Things change over time. So it is possible that eventually, I'd be like, yeah, I don't trust these guys anymore. But right now, with the quality that has been given to us over the years in Final Fantasy XIV, I have full confidence in Naoki Yoshida and Creative Business Unit 3. So when it comes to delays and stuff, I'm never upset. If anything, I'm usually happy because I'd rather people delay something and, give me like a full, proper experience than, stupid stuff like Anthem where you're just like, you see that there's so much potential there, but they didn't take the time to actually polish it. Or even more recently, New World. Where it's like, I was actually excited about it and they completely and utterly destroyed that game. Like, I don't know how Amazon Game Studios did it, but they managed to drive that friggin' game into the ground. They should have delayed it for like a year to actually fix the damn thing. So, yeah, delay it all you want, Yoshida. Like, I don't think anybody's going to be upset over the delays, And not to mention, it's like, listen, if you got to delay it 1 month, delay it 1 month. And I understand some people took vacation time, and that fucking blows. If you can't, get your vacation time back, that fucking blows. I understand that. I remember that I took vacation time when Wrath of the Lich King came out. And that didn't get delayed, luckily. But, I took vacation time during that just so that I could play the crap out of Wrath of the Lich King. So I completely sympathize with people that took time off to play the game, and now they're kind of screwed. But ultimately, you have to look at it like this. Would you rather be screwed out of this, 2 weeks vacation time, or would you rather be playing the fucking Shadowlands? You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, right? It's like it's better that they delay it and get it right and give us all a good experience than to just, oh no, let's just release it and boom, go, and yeah, we'll fix it later. I fucking actually, dude, let me just rail on this for just a little bit, okay? I fucking hate the mentality that some of these fucking developers have of just like, oh, just release it now, fix it later. That is the most piece of hot fucking garbage mentality that you can fucking have in a video game, okay? And the fact that you can develop it as a live service does not excuse that fucking bullshit mentality, all right? Don't fucking be like, oh yeah, just release it now and we'll fix it later. Yeah, there's bugs. It's fine. We'll fix it later. It's fine. Okay? I don't like that. I don't like that at all, okay? And if you're the type of developer, producer, whatever that would approve that instead of delaying the fucking game, fuck you. You're a disappointment to not only to your fans, but to your fucking team. Because teams there's teams of developers that pour their fucking hearts and souls into a lot of these games. And some fucking Johnny dipshit from marketing comes out. I was like, hey, it's got to come out by the end of the quarter, man. It's got, yeah, dude. And they're like, dude, we need more time. He's like, I don't give a fuck, man. I need to get paid. I need to get fucking paid, buddy. Yeah, give me my money. And it's like, I'm glad that, Yoshida's just like, hey, listen, things drifted. I want to give you guys the best experience possible. we're delaying it. That to me is more respectable than just going like, fuck it, release it now, fix it later. So, you know, that's my thought on whenever literally anyone delays a video game. That's my thought process. It's like, if you're delaying and you're going to make it good, that's fine. However, if you're delaying and you're going to release New World, oof, oof. And you see, and even in New World, that's another example that we can talk about, which is like, there is some passion in that game. If you look at like the lighting systems, the sound design, some of the animations, the overall ambience of the game, you can tell that some artists really poured their hearts and souls into it. But then there's all the other bullshit. Anyway, let's continue.
The census data, and that gives us an idea of how many people are actually playing FF14, how it's grown. Spoilers, it's a lot. And by the way, 2 days, stay tuned 2 days if you want a single-player narrative RPG from us. Well, we are doing our reveal of the game we're making, the publisher we have, the trailer, the reveal trailer. It's all going to be 2 days, the 11th of November, 3 p.m. UK time on this channel. So, yeah, we're finally getting to do game stuff. Holy shit. But okay.
We need to check that out. I want to check out his game.
I mean, start with the delay.
Okay.
And poor Yoshi-P. I mean, goddamn, the man clearly had the weight of the world on his shoulders, didn't he? As I'm sure you know by now, Endwalker has been delayed by 2 weeks from the 23rd to the 7th, which also shifts early access to the 3rd.
Let me see. So we have, goddamn friggin' American dates. It should be the other way around. Day comes first, month comes after. Anyways, okay, I get it. So on the 3rd is the early access launch. That's when I'm going to be streaming the crap out of this. On the 7th is the official launch. Oof! Oh, dude. Seriously? Yoshi-P, what are you giving us for Christmas? A fucking raid tier. But it's Christmas. Yeah, family time. Go raid! Yoshi-P's giving everyone a raid tier for Christmas. Oh, this is going to be rough, man. This is going to be rough. Patch 6.05, Pandemonium release. That's going to be on the 4th of January. Hey, at least, you know, the one that counts, because, I mean, let's face it, regular one, it's just regular difficulty is going to be whatever. But the one that counts, which is Savage, that's going to be in January, so at least there's that. People are going to still be like drunk from New Year's and like, hey, let's raid. Oh, crap. What's that mechanic? We're also getting the Excitotron 6000, which is the treasure hunting, and new gear added, and elegant tombstones of astronomy. So this is when we're going to start grinding expert dungeons, I would assume. Again, this is the first time that I'm like all caught up with content in 14 during an expansion launch, so I'm super freaking pumped for it.
Of December. 2021 is the year of game delays, but this definitely does come as a surprise. Now, the reason is that Yoshi-P felt they needed extra time for QA to ensure that the launch is actually...
Dude, I'm sorry I'm pausing so much, but like, seriously, imagine Blizzard in this situation. Like, somebody from QA comes up to Ian, hey, Ian, like, he's like a small dude, right? Right? He's just like Peter from QA, right? He comes up to Ian, he's like, Ian, my team needs more time to QA test the game. And he's like, shut the fuck up, dude. The players will QA that shit on the PTR. Don't even worry about it. Not even a problem. We don't even have to worry about the quality. Dude, it's fine. Dude, it's fine. And we can fix it later, okay? It's like, we can just fix it. Actually, I think... Now, you know what his reaction would be? Like, Peter from QA comes up to Ian and goes like, Mr. Ian, sir, my team needs more time to QA test the game. Ian looks down to him and is like, who the fuck are you? And what the fuck is QA? What's a QA? We don't do that here. Ian doesn't even know what the fuck QA is, dude. It's like, what do you mean QA? We have a PTR for a reason. There's people paying us to do QA. What the fuck are you talking about? QA. QA these nuts.
Really going to be a stable affair and a good experience for everyone. He basically said that his job as director took over and he just could not risk compromising the game. Of course, not just the game, but also the fact that Endwalker is the culmination of the whole FF14 story thus far, so really not the time for it to fall over. Now, the toll that it took on him was crystal clear. I mean, just look at him. Man brought to tears, which was honestly a little bit hard to watch. But you know what? Seeing a director show himself like that on stream is a breath of fresh air compared to the corporate bollocks we're used to. When Shadowlands was delayed by a month, we got a text post from the executive producer, and without so much as an apology. When Blizzard delayed Overwatch 2 and
Blizzard never apologizes. That's one of the things that you can notice. Blizzard never, ever, ever apologizes. Not even
Diablo 4 recently, we found out via an investors meeting. Which I think that shows, just who they think is important.
Of course.
So it was great to see Yoshi paying attention just so closely to the live streams chat as well.
The reason he's saying this is because he's not familiar with Yoshi-P just being, super straightforward with the communities. He's kind of like recently entered the community, and therefore he doesn't realize that it's not just for the launch of Endwalker. Yoshi-P has always been pretty genuine, right? Like if you remember the video where they talk about the launch of Realm Reborn, and Yoshi-P is just happy that they were given like a second chance with Final Fantasy XIV. It's really good.
A few queries, just about how close all of this was to launch. But it does, I think, overall show how people trust the decision-making from that team. When he spoke to the Square Enix board of directors on this issue, the issue of the delay, one of them said, it's late, but it'll work because Yoshida's working on it. So the guy clearly has got clout internally. And of course, that's not to mention the likes of the chat being flooded with hearts and everything. But let's talk about the actual delay. I imagine most of us trust that it was necessary, but also...
that's another thing, like the chat being filled with hearts. One of the reasons they do that is because they know that Yoshida is actually looking at chat. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the FanFest, but if you watch the FanFest, you'll notice that all the time, Yoshida is just like looking at chat. He's got like big monitors, which usually a lot of people use those monitors on a stage to have like, whatchamacallit, as teleprompters. They have like the text that they're supposed to spew out. Yoshida's like, nah, I don't need that. Just give me Twitch chat, YouTube chat, like Nico chat. Just give me all of that on these big ass screens so that I can see what people are saying. And that, again, that's just refreshing. It's just like, this is actually a game director that wants to know what the people that are watching the stream think. And at the end of the day, I think you need to understand, like, your community ends up being a reflection of what you promote, like what your values are, which is why he can actually do that. Whereas, Blizzard, with their arrogance and whatnot, all they promote is like nonsensory, and you can tell that every single video they release just gets like 1 million dislikes because they're so goddamn out of touch.
It is insanely close to the wire. Now, 2 weeks is not a major delay, but there's going to be a ton of casualties in terms of players' plans. I mean, this is an MMO, so people will have been booking days, even weeks off work to fully immerse themselves, and well, a bunch of those plans are in jeopardy. For some people, getting time off work is really hard in the first place, and rescheduling it so close to the wire is also really, really hard. Not to mention launching an MMO in December generally being a bit of a rough thing to do because it is a busy, stressful time for most people. So in that vein, dropping Pandemonium on the 21st is also going to, annoy more than a few people.
What are you getting for Christmas? A raid tier.
The producer thinks the game needs more time. He is probably right, and we don't want to have the whole thing fall over. Generally, here we're pro game delays, okay? Nothing's worse than a game that's undercooked. I've heard tales of Roban Savage and Pippin Extreme.
Oh, yeah.
And, From what I've heard in the tales, I can imagine no one wants that to happen again. Also, if I'm being honest, if I'm going to come in here for Team Scrub, gives the scrubs like me a bit more time, and honestly, it kind of suits us very well in terms of content.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Now, all that said, before we get to the rest of the live letter, we've got tasty news from Lucky Bancho.
Lucky Bancho.
There are now 1.62 million active characters. That's according to the Lucky Bancho census. That is up by 420,000 from July, which is about an extra 30%. Now, this is like active, so keep in mind, of course, there's been no content patch since May, yet this particular number has exploded. Lucky Bancho's criteria for being active is pretty much this. Something changed since the last survey, right? But they also only count characters above level 60 to avoid free trials. And that means that anyone who is still progressing through A Realm Reborn or Heavensward won't be on the list.
Those numbers are skewed.
I only joined the Lucky Bancho list like, 1.5 weeks ago because of, my character's level.
The Asmongold
Now,
effect,
Bancho
yeah.
says the explosion of active players is likely down to new players, which is hardly a surprise, but also highlights that there are 1.51 million characters who have started Shadowbringers, which is up by 380k since July. Oh, and then for another number, 864,000 characters are flagged for Endwalker access. Now, if we want to get an active player count, we do have to do some very big estimates here. But Bancho points out that in a 2019 survey, it was found that about 20% of characters were alts. So by that measure, FF14 right now should have about 1.28 million active players who are like paying a subscription, because that number excludes those who are still in the free trial. And that also does not include Chinese players either. The last number to cover then is registered accounts. So in April, Square Enix celebrated passing 22 million accounts. At that time...
Dude, let me just say something. I'm not sure if you guys can tell. And if you guys are paying attention to the audio, there's clearly someone doing construction next to Bellular. And that sucks so much. I feel so bad for him. Because, like, let me tell you, when you're trying to record a video, there are few things worse than having background noise. And I can really relate, because sometimes you might hear, like, a train that... Because I'm right next to train tracks, and you can hear, like, the train going by every now and then. And that is annoying. I can't even imagine what it would be like if I was hearing someone going, like next door. I'm like, dude, I'd go insane. I'd, like, walk up to the next house. Can you freaking stop? Stop! That's probably one of the reasons why he's got music playing so loud. Like, I'm sorry. I had to comment on that because, as a content creator, I sympathize and I understand the struggle. I really do.
Lucky Bancho found 951k active players. Well, last month, they announced they passed the 24 million account mark. So it seems that a lot of those 2 million players are still stuck around. Honestly, pretty massive. The growth's only continuing. They've mentioned as much multiple times. Perhaps we'll just have to wait for 1 or 2 earnings calls. Maybe they'll get really bullish and they'll finally want to unfurl a really juicy number. But till then, that's all we've got for numbers.
Okay.
All right, time for the rest of the live letter. Honestly, what a grueling show. Going through over 5 hours of nitty-gritty updates is wild and pretty damn brilliant. So this is a lot of stuff. What we've tried to do here is pack it all down and give you the highlights. First up, the Endwalker launch trailer was released, and I've been told I'm not allowed to watch it, but unfortunately I did watch it, and...
God damn it! God damn it, Bellular! What's wrong with you? Do you have no self-control? Come on, man! Then again, I've heard from Zeppela, I haven't seen the new trailer yet, by the way, I probably should watch it, but I've heard from Zeppela that it's probably just confusing for someone that hasn't gotten to that point in the story yet.
Last segment has got me and everybody else concerned, and I suppose I'm going to find out why soon enough. So, pretty big. Now, the coolest new bit was that apparently NPCs will actually travel with us instead of just sort of phasing about the place. That
It's actually really funny because recently I've been using the Drought Amber Chocobo, which I think I got because of Shadowmancers, because Shadowmancers used my refer code, and he pretty much hasn't stopped paying a subscription since he started playing. So I've been getting all kinds of goodies. So I have the Drought Amber Chocobo, I got Twin Tanya, like I'm getting all kinds of goodies thanks to Shadowmancers using my refer code. But yeah, it's like I've actually been using the Draw Ember Chocobo quite a bit recently, and that's a 2-seater mount. That means that every now and then, I might just get Y'shtola in the backseat. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Hey, welcome. Hey, let's go. And then suddenly Alphino gets in the backseat, and I'm like, eject. No, I'm actually not an Alphino hater. A lot of people are Alphino haters, and I don't know why. I don't know why people friggin' hate Alphino. I think Alphino's pretty cool. Like, Alphino grew on me as a character quite a bit, particularly during the Realm Reborn patch quests, I think, was when I really started. Oh, wow. Okay. That's cool. But, yeah, I might even just, like, ride around in Regalia all the time so that there's just a chance of, like, a bunch of them popping up. I'm going to be going through Endwalker on Regalia the whole time so that NPCs can pop up in my vehicle.
Means, like, properly out in the world, like they're our real party, even including for conversations and GPOs. That is awesome, and I really want to see how they can work that into their quest design. Now, then we got updates on sweeping PvP changes for 6.1. So first up, the new mode is called Crystal Combat.
It's not sweeping PvP changes, it's a new mode. No, wait, there are some, never mind. There are some changes in the, they're doing like a weird season pass type thing, which is weird.
Conflict. The goal is to push the crystal into the enemy base to win, while of course also dealing with some map gimmicks. It's also, by the way, coming with a fairly major overhaul of PvP, and they do sound brave.
So 5v5 team competition, each team formed of 5 different jobs. Interesting that it has to be different jobs. So it's like, oh, you can't stack paladins. Why can't I stack paladins? Yoshida? I just want to go in there with 5 paladins and wail on everybody with blade works until the cows come home. I just want to like non-stop spam my shiny new Confederate combo with 4 other people non-stop spamming their shiny new Confederate combo. That's all I want to do. Can't you let me be happy? No, but I think that's cool because like most of the times, that shouldn't really be a problem because I think most people have like at least 2 jobs. So you can just like, swap between them.
If only I could be so grossly incandescent.
Zephyrus Rain, thank you very much for becoming grossly incandescent. Tip of the hat. Appreciate the support. Thank you. But as I was saying, okay, so we got each team forming 5 different jobs, no role restrictions, casual, ranked, and custom matches available, and skill-based matchmaking. Ooh, that is... Eesh. When you start talking about that's already in the game, I believe. There's already like some form of ranked PvP. I don't know because I don't really engage in it that much. But I do hope that they do a proper ELO because... it doesn't have to be ELO. It can be whatever system they want. I'm just saying that like a lot of times that stuff is rough to... to really balance. I remember particularly when I was doing Paragon, whenever I would do ranked matches in Paragon, it was atrocious because there was only 2 types of matches that I would get, and none of them were fun, which it was very frustrating because like this was actually something that I would whenever we would have meetings with developers, because we had meetings with developers in Paragon. It was something that I'd bring up literally the only thing that I would say in a meeting, like they would talk about all of these things. The only thing that I'd say would be like, okay, that's all nice. Did you guys fix matchmaking yet? And it's like, what do you mean? Did you improve matchmaking? Because right now it's pretty bad. And they're like, well, that's not really a super priority right now. And I was like, okay. And then the next meeting I'd go in and I'd just ask again, did you improve matchmaking? Because like what you need to understand is the new player experience for that type of stuff is super important. And having balanced matchmaking is one of the most important things that you can have. Because like I said, I had literally 2 types of matches in Paragon, and they were matches where I would get matched up against like some of the most hardcore players in the game and they would completely stomp me, and matches where I would get matched up against complete noobs and I would obliterate them. And that was it. Those were the 2 types of matches that I would have most of the time. Like I rarely ever got like an actual balanced match. It was either get stomped or stomp on someone, and that's it. So that's the thing. Like that's why I'm always, harping on. Like I hope that they do a good job of the matchmaking whenever there's matchmaking and ranked matchmaking in something.
So we've got role-based matchmaking and actions being removed in favor of generic PvP-specific actions with one job-specific adrenaline rush to set them apart.
Removal of role-based matchmaking and actions. Okay, so it doesn't matter which role you do for matchmaking. Addition of distinctive PvP actions and job-specific adrenaline rushes. I mean that's kind of like a thing, but either way, dude, I'm down for any changes that they do in PvP, because PvP right now is not super appealing to me personally. Like I'll do PvP for the XP that I can get on like a new character, and that's pretty much it.
So yeah, that really is ballsy. Now, Yoshi-P talked about basically PvP being too stressful for players with role restrictions, while also then wanting short and simple matches, because that will mesh better with FF14 player behavior. As for the rewards then, they're rolling out seasons for Crystal Conflict, and then a longer series for all combined PvP. So you'll get season rankings for Crystal Conflict, and that's going to come along with titles, achievements, and rewards. But then PvP itself as a whole will offer rewards on a series basis, utilizing series XP and a battle pass-like system, but one that has got no fear of missing out, because old rewards are going to be purchasable later on. Oh,
see, this is the most important thing about a battle pass as far as I'm concerned. Whenever you do a battle pass type system, if you're going to hit players with FOMO, I'm going to be like hardcore against it, which is what most battle pass systems do. They hit you with that FOMO. It's like, no, you got to play when the thing is going on. Otherwise, you're going to miss out. And the fact that right from the get-go, like right from the moment they announced this, they were ready to tell you, but don't worry about it. If you can't get the rewards, you'll be able to get them later. The fact that they had the foresight to tell players this is super important to me, due to the fact that it's just like, it shows that they're in touch with their community. They know that people don't want to be forced to play. That's the difference. That's one of the biggest differences between Final Fantasy XIV and other MMOs, is that Yoshi just goes like, hey, listen, you play it if it's fun for you, and if it's not fun, then go do something else or take a break, and then you can come back later, and if it's fun for you then, you can go and get your rewards then. And that is cool. That is really cool. I really, really appreciate that. I cannot emphasize this enough. The fact that they're not going after you with the fucking FOMO hardcore, like, that is awesome. And I know that probably some people will call me like a fanboy for saying this stuff, but I think it's important. Like I said, the FOMO is one of the main reasons why I don't really play Dauntless on a regular basis. If it wasn't for the FOMO, I'd probably play Dauntless more often. I don't know if they changed how their battle pass worked, but back when I used to play it, the battle pass was straight up FOMO. It's like, hey, you missed out on this thing for this month? Well, that's too bad, dude. Too bad. Hell, you could even buy the thing and then miss out on it, which is like the even worst part. And that's how a lot of battle passes work. Like, you buy the battle pass, and then if you can't play the game or don't feel like playing the game, they're like, well, fuck you. You missed out. Too bad. Sucks to be you. And I'm glad that they're like, off the bat, nope, that's not going to be a thing.
And the feast is going away in 6.1, so hopefully very few will miss it after all these changes.
K2M Zerti, I'm pretty sure it's going to be with in-game currencies, because I think what's going to happen is they're just going to sell it to you for the, what's the PvP currency, the wolf marks or whatever? I believe that it's probably going to be the wolf marks.
But it's okay, because they are currently in talks to bring some of FF14's most glamorous gear back with the new Garo collab. And here's a pic.
Oh yeah, I heard that people were complaining about this because they didn't get a chance to do this. And I don't even know what the hell Garo is, but some of these look cool. Yeah, I'll get them. Which one of these would be for Paladin? This one? That looks pretty fucking badass. I want that. Yeah, let's go.
So, looks neat. Right. This level of change, honestly, is pretty brave. Like, it's a lot of changes for PvP. I've not really jumped into that segment of the game, but I guess they feel PvP isn't up to scratch, and at least I'll be able to give you a perspective of somebody completely fresh to this. Now, there's also news of a new calling card system to personalize your player profile, like the examine window. Now, this is a pretty cool casual way to announce something that's actually a really neat addition. I guess it's like, I don't know, all the Call of Duty games and the shooters where you can customize your little banner. But customization elements for this system are going to be rewarded through content in the future. Now,
dude, that is straight up Call of Duty battle tags, dude. It's straight up Call of Duty battle tags. I don't know how I feel about that.
Also some detail on HQ item removal. Basically, the removal of HQ gathering items has got a item removal content in the future.
Did you say deep dungeons? There's nothing, dude, this is PvP. There's nothing here about deep dungeons.
Future. Now, there was also some detail on HQ item removal. Basically, the removal of HQ gathering items has got a whole bunch of specifics detailed to make sure that it actually makes sense. Instead of focusing on gathering HQ, you'll instead get a bonus yield of normal items with your perception and other HQ bonuses.
I'll tell you what, HQ items is one of the things that really frustrated me in gathering. And I know that when it comes to gathering and crafting and whatnot, I'm a super casual. But I remember that I was trying to do, because like I never did the mining job quests, even though I have a level 80 miner. I never did them. Because here's the thing, I was leveling a miner because I wanted to do the dwarf, this is how much of a noob I am when it comes to crafting in 14, right? I was leveling a miner to go and do the dwarven quest line. And nobody in my chat, by the way, at the time, because I was live streaming this, so people knew exactly why I was leveling a miner. So I'm leveling a miner to do the Dwarven Beast Tribe quests, and nobody in my chat bothered to tell me that the Dwarven Beast Tribe quests were only for crafters. And disciples of the hand and disciples of the land are two different things. And nobody bothered to tell me as I was slowly leveling my miner to go do the Dwarven quest line, and then suddenly it's like, oh, I actually need a crafter. Oh. So then I have to go back and level a crafter on top of it, okay? Then I leveled a crafter on top of that, and that was insane. Like, I did a lot of work for the firmament, okay? I put in my fair share of work to restore the Ishgardian housing district, all right? Avery, you can't do Dwarven quests with the miner. Thanks. Anyway, as I was saying, sorry, complete sidetrack. Basically, when I was doing the quests for the miner, because like each crafting class and gathering class has their own quests, at one point they were like, oh yeah, go get these high quality items. And I was like, okay, how do I do that? And it's like, oh yeah, you got to do this, and then once in a blue moon, this item spawns over here. And I'm like, wait. Once in a blue moon? Like, I remember that there was something about the timing that you had. It wouldn't be available all the time. And you had to meet, like, God knows how many different conditions. And I was like, I'm just going to level to 80 and not even care about any of this. I still haven't done my mining quests. I haven't. Same thing with armor smithing. Armor smithing was also like, oh yeah, you need to craft this high quality. I'm like, no, too much work. But dude, I don't know where to drift. I remember that there was a quest that I needed to do and I couldn't figure out how to do it. And I was like, I'm done. You have to sacrifice a goat under the moonlight, pray to all the 12 gods, and there's a 5% chance will spawn. Exactly. So Disciples of the Land quests require current HQ items will be accepted except both HQ and NQ. HQ item delivery bonus for Disciples of the Land will be removed and base rewards improved. Actions that affect the HQ yields when gathering will be adjusted. The requirements for achievements that involve gathering HQ items will be updated so they can still be completed. Okay.
So as far as I can see, this is doing two major things. Number one, it's going to help you clean up your inventory. right?
Thank God.
So you'll be able to put even more materials in there. It won't be clogged up by regular and HQ versions of things and in Endwalker. So that's kind of handy.
Yes.
Because your inventory can get real nasty, if you're gathering out here.
Yes, it
Now,
can.
it also removes the bad experience of not getting HQ items. If the extra items are a bonus instead, then you're never getting something that's not useful. You're just getting a bit less. Now, for fishing, instead of bonus yield, you'll be getting large-sized or more collectible fish instead. And also, spearfishing has got its own mini-game as well, which looks interesting.
I didn't even know that spearfishing was a thing. I need to do more fishing, dude. I need to just one of these days, I'm just going to do a stream where I'm just going to fish. I'm just going to do nothing but fish. The whole stream, dude. Level that thing up to 80.
To say the least. Then, now this bit was a cool touch, they announced that any XP you have on a level will be removed with the XP downscaling, which is a bit odd, but they explained why here. Basically, calculating the new XP value after the downscale for every character's level would add a huge amount of time to their database processing time during maintenance. It took
like 3 weeks.
So they're just going to reset it to 0 instead. It's easy to laugh at that idea, but there you go. I guess we are losing some XP in order to get Endwalker maintenance be over soon. So there you go. It's a bit of an odd change, but that's happening. Okay, the housing system. This is one of the most interesting segments. So, of course, in patch 6.1, they are adding Imperium, which is the housing district in Ishgard, so that's pretty exciting. But it comes with comes after some major updates to make getting houses fairer. First off, transferring land buying permissions and FC ownership to new FC members is going to be restricted in order to stop, trading FCs or joining one just so you can buy land. After a long wait then, we've also got specifics on how the lottery system is going to work. So to be able to enter the private lottery, you need to be level 50 plus, you need to be second lieutenant in your grand company, you can't buy a plot on the same world as any of your other characters, right? So that's the restrictions. Now for an FC plot, the FC's got to have 4 or more members who are at least rank 6. And then also, like with the private housing, the buyer can't own an FC plot in the same world. Now, the lottery will be scheduled across worlds and housing areas, so there's going to be no overlap. That means that it will take a while to get sorted, but hopefully it's all going to work out. Now, there are a few days to view a plot and put the full price down up front, and then the winner will have a few days to confirm their victory, else they'll lose half their money and the plot will be back into the next lottery period. Also, a player can only put down 1 entry at a time. You also can't pull out of a lottery, so once you put your money down, you've put it down. You have to be committed. Actually, so much that you also have to manually collect your refund if you lose. Now, that feels a bit unfair, but apparently it's actually for technical reasons, so there's that. Now, they've yet to decide how many of the plots are going to be sold via lottery, but it seems like they could be considering all of them. I mean, assuming this system works, it will be. All in all, then, these overall do seem like, for a lot of people, a lottery, it's going to kind of suck, but the alternative also is just, the botting and the, waiting for ages. So overall, these do seem to be very popular changes to come.
Attention, everybody, there's a fucking house for sale. You guys remember that part of the video? That's so hilarious. I was like, attention, everybody, there's a fucking house for sale.
About the issues that people are finding in actually buying a house. Now, a lot of these could feel, I think, a bit unfair or maybe very aggressive on paper, but I think it's just ending up taking a solution like...
No, listen. You can call it whatever you want. It's whatever they do is going to be better than the current system, all right? Don't nobody want to be sitting at a fucking thing just going like, click, click, click. You're giving players carpal tunnel right now. With the current system, some people are getting carpal tunnel. So, no.
That to solve a decently deep-rooted problem with the housing system. All right, time for the last few bits. So, number one, they've confirmed the name for the first tier of Pandemonium, and what's fun there is that according to Matt,
Asphodelos.
this name is very important, and Soft confirms one of his theories for the raid. So, because of that, I'm pretty excited.
I have no idea.
Also, let's just take a moment to appreciate the new uncapped tombstone gear. It's all actually lifted straight out of FF4. Cecil's Paladin gear for tanks, Rydia's gear for casters. I think those are some clear highlights. So
I've never played Final
The
Fantasy
attention to
IV.
detail, even just in a live letter, is amazing. But
that
there are some
Paladin
funny
looks
things,
good.
like holding up printouts to the camera. It's like a weird level of old school.
Look, you see what I mean? He's never seen a live letter. He has no idea. Yeah, it is old school, but I think it's cool. I think it's really cool. Like, you know, it gives it a more human approach. It's like, hey, listen, we like having these printouts. Here you go. Here's what it looks like. Boom. Done. I think it's cool. But then again, I'm an old man. Like, what the fuck do I know?
And now,
I mean, you know, I wonder if Yoshida... Yoshida's like, nah, dude, I put this high-res JPEG, this high-res PNG on the net. Someone will sell it as a fucking NFT. Fuck y'all.
to end us off, we do come to the most important announcement of the entire live letter, and that is that in December, they're releasing a spin-off manga that is focused on the twins in a Japanese high school setting, because yes, we're getting one of those. There is no official news on an English release, but I'm sure we'll figure something out, and that an English release would probably do very well. So, this live letter was, despite the grim news, I think another great example of the team's just overall communication. Now look, our coverage here is far from exhaustive, but we just wanted to give you our 2 cents and things, and also give you a quick rundown on some of the most important topics. And, well, I look forward to actually fully understanding one of these darn live letters someday, because I am racing towards the finish. Well, not really racing, I suppose, because of the delay, which is allowing things to be a bit more chill. So yeah, I apologize if you're one of the people impacted by the delay, but honestly, to me, it does kind of feel good. It's giving me time to properly finish and then digest for a good few days Shadowbringers and share my experience all in time, so I can join you in the grand finale, which is going to be awesome. So there's all that great stuff going on. I hope you enjoyed the video, and stick around in 2 days on the 11th, 3 p.m. on this channel. We are revealing our game. Yes, we're making single-player narrative RPG,
We need to
and
check out
you'll
Bellular's
learn more
game.
about it. Well, the name is The Pale Beyond. You'll learn more about it, our publisher, and all of that stuff.
Here comes that Bosnia track, dude.
So yeah,
Here it comes.
Look out
Here
for
it comes.
that. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.
Somebody needs to find me this Bosnia remix, dude. Because this is badass. I love this Bosnia remix. This is good stuff. Anyway, that video is pretty good. I'm super excited about all of this stuff that is coming to Endwalker. Like I said at the start of this, I'm perfectly fine with the game being delayed. I know it sucks for people that, you know, obviously took their vacation, but at the end of the day, you're getting a better game because of it, and it is much better than the game releasing like in a state like friggin' New World, Shadowlands, or Anthem, which was quite frankly embarrassing. It's a fucking embarrassment. So Yoshida does not want to do his fans dirty, and I think that that is commendable. And I'm pretty pumped about Endwalker, pretty much.